All right, welcome to Carnival of Kayfabe. I'm 6 Digit, and I'm here with Randi West. What's good?
Oh man, I'm feeling it now. I'm happy to be here though. We've been
Thank
trying
you.
for a minute.
Yeah, definitely. I'm obviously I moved. We're a new place. I guess it looks the same to anyone out there, but this is a new place, and we just left the RPW show where Randi West wrestled in a death match, and it was fucking bloody, and it was fucking amazing. How you feeling?
I feel great. Like the adrenaline's starting to wear off now. So I'm like, we were deciding that all the pain is starting to set in. But man, I felt so good. They were all like, "Man, there's like a glow about you."
Yeah.
When I got to the burgers and beers today.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm feeling it."
Definitely. No, I agree. It was fucking great. It was a good show from top to bottom. The whole thing was good. But I definitely was looking forward to your match, and you did your thing, you know. And mind you, we'll post a link or whatever so that you guys can see on IWTV. But for those who don't know, you wrestled a dude and and gave him an ass kicking.
Chuck Stein, and he's been around for a while in the deathmatch scene. Like I haven't done one since 2019, and I did Death Becomes Her 2 and I won it. And then the pandemic hit, and I had the neck injury, and they told me I wouldn't wrestle again.
Yeah.
And then when I came back from that, when I got cleared, I was like, all right, well, let's do this deathmatch shit again.
That's fucking awesome.
I need it. I was like a crackhead, you know, watching everybody else do it. I'm like, I need this shit.
Yeah, I've actually heard that. A lot of people say that, you know, it's addicting.
Yeah.
And I could see that. I could see that. It's addicting watching it. And I think when we talked before that I had mentioned, like, I really wasn't a huge fan of deathmatch, you know. I love wrestling. I've always loved wrestling, but it just really wasn't my thing. And like the more and more that I go, the more I get into it, and I just start to appreciate it more. And you know, and I think there's a thin line where where it's too much. And I've never seen RPW like cross that line or do something that's just like gruesome for no reason. You know,
it's the artistry of it, and you're an artist, so you can totally see, you know, the work that goes into putting that art together and making it look spectacular and making it look like
absolutely captivating. You know, putting together something that's captivating and tells a story. And you definitely achieved that time, man. Big props on that
Appreciate
match.
Appreciate it.
Sweet.
And like Chuck Stein's like I said, he's such a good dude, and we're related by marriage.
Okay.
So you know, it was really cool to have my first one back since coming back from the neck injury to be with him too.
Yeah.
So that was a genuine hug at the end of that match that I gave him. You know, like it was like, oh, thank God we survived.
But the hug that I liked the most from that match was when you hugged his head with those gussets. That was fucking great, man. It was like, pow.
I might have got a little excited.
Yeah.
I was feeling myself at that particular point in time. And
it was so good though. It was so good.
His head bled so much too. It was just like.
It did, but yours did as well, as you folks could see now. There's still the blood there.
In my ear over here. I still got it everywhere.
I couldn't do it, man. I gotta give you guys as much props, you know.
You have to be kind of crazy and a little bit like masochistic.
Yeah.
But like, I always tell everybody it's therapy.
It's an outlet, right? It's an outlet.
I have anger issues, and that helps me with that, so I keep them under control.
If you're gonna hurt people, it might as well be consensual, right?
Exactly. And not go to jail. It's sanctioned. We're good. We're good.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I'm finding all these different new little cuts I have on my hands and stuff too. That's always fun. The shower's gonna suck later.
Has there ever been a moment where you're in the ring and you felt like, you know, like it went too far, like you know, where you were really like genuinely scared or thought something was wrong?
I have been lucky enough as far as my matches to like I haven't had that moment.
Yeah.
But I've been at shows where as I'm watching them get ready to do the move through the glass or whatever, like I'm like, oh, this is gonna go terrible. And then you see it and you're like, yeah. And it was like, there was one particular one where the kid's shoulders were filleted from terrible glass.
Yeah.
And like, as he went down, I just took off running to the locker room because I knew he was coming back and I knew he needed somebody there that knew what to do.
Yeah. And see, that's what I said. That's what I mean when I say like, that I think sometimes they go too far, because obviously you want a wrestler to come back and wrestle again, you know?
Yeah.
You don't want to.
And with it being the artistry, like it's stunt theater, you know? So like you wouldn't perform a stunt in a movie that was unsafe.
Yeah.
You know, you do your research and you do the stunt properly.
Yeah. We're taking care of each other.
Yeah,
you know,
idiots don't do they just like, oh, I'm gonna be a sweet ass deathmatch wrestler, fuck this, and they end up hurting themselves.
Have you ever been in a situation where, like, you know, say a promoter wanted to put you in the ring with somebody that you didn't want to get in the ring with because of that maybe they were too green or too anxious to?
I'm always willing, like, when I did Queen of the Deathmatch in 2014, my first round match was against Mistress Burgundy, and it was their first ever death match. Mm-hmm. Never been in one in their life. And it ended up being a House of Glass match. Okay. So it was panes of glass, light tubes, pits of glass, and she's never done any of this. So I was like, all right, well, it's going to be a learning experience for both of us. I'm going to learn how to keep myself safe while I try to navigate this with you, you know? Yeah. And it ended up being really good, you know, but it was like, I try not to turn down matches because of, like if you're unsafe, then yeah, I don't want to wrestle you. But right. If it's just because of your years or your, like, I'll still work with you and figure it out, you know?
Yeah. That's cool.
I've been doing this too long to
kind of wonder, you know, like, because I've definitely, like, I know people that probably shouldn't be in the ring and they do it anyways, and people let them, and I'm like,
yeah, like, so, I will go to a promoter and say, hey man, like, that guy's boo boo. Yeah, he ain't really trained. Yeah. Like, he should be on this side of the line over here, not this one. Like,
I think that happens in all lines of work, though. Yeah. I've definitely done plenty of shows with people that shouldn't have been on the bill. It happens.
I've been to some shows.
Yes. I think after we talked the last time, I looked up some of your stuff, and I think we might even sent me some matches, and I was watching some stuff online. You're a badass.
Thank you.
You've done some pretty cool shit, you know. And there was one in particular. I wish I remember who you were wrestling, but you'll probably know what I'm talking about. But you went up on top of, like, over a door and jumped off of some big ass thing. It was pretty fucking sweet.
Was it like a dark video where I was, like, jumping off a balcony?
Yes.
It was John Wayne Murdoch.
Yes. Yep.
It was Gender Wars.
Yeah.
And Thunder Kitty brings it up all the time when we're together. She's like, man, I just remember the first time we walked in that building, and, like, I walked in first, and she's like, Thunder Kitty's like, I looked up and I seen that, and she's like, Randy's gonna jump off that. She's like, not 3 minutes later, you walked in behind me and said, you think I can jump off that? and that went well. And then, like, 2 weeks later, I jumped off a locker that was like half that height and broke my foot.
Yeah.
So, like,
luck of the draw, huh?
Like, all right. I tend to not jump off things these days too much. I try not to.
It was pretty high up there too. It was like a New Jack moment. R.I.P. New Jack.
Recipes, New Jack. I got hit in the back of the head with a trash can from him one time.
Yeah?
Yeah, he did a run-in on a match and
nice.
Threw that trash can, knocked me right in the head. I was like, yep, I'm out.
That, you know, he was, I don't know if Chris told you guys or not, but he was supposed to be on the show tonight.
Yeah.
So, I was like super bummed about that, you know, I'm bummed anyways because, you know, New Jack passed, but then, you know, like, it was such a letdown, like, damn, I was going to get to hang out with New Jack and get to watch him, and the coolest part was that it wasn't, like, advertised, it was just his music was going to hit.
And it was originally, he was supposed to work another show against Chuck Stein.
Yes, I talked to Chuck actually earlier in the bar
and then Chuck was going to come and wrestle me after that.
Yeah.
And I was like, hell yeah, New Jack's gonna fuck him up. It's gonna be easy for me, you know. And then,
well, that's what he told me. New Jack was coming in. I was like, oh, cool. Yeah. And I'm thinking he's just gonna, like, be there and sign autographs or whatever. And he's like, yeah, he's gonna come out with a garbage can full of weapons and you know do his thing. And I'm like, yes, I was so fucking pumped for him, man. So, you know,
only the New Jack could.
Yeah.
Music playing the whole time.
Yeah. I was lucky enough to see him one time. ECW came to town when I was young. I was like 12 or 13, and it was like one of their last shows that they ran with the original ECW cast. So I got to see like Sabu and Van Dam, and it was fucking awesome, man.
Yeah,
one of the like best like
super close
live
with
shows.
Sabu.
Yeah.
When I first started coming up, like he used to come to the show. He's like, hey, for like first 3 years he knew me. Hey, you got gimmick? That was my name. You got any smoke?
Yeah.
That was it. Like, that's how he knew me. And yeah, every time. Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
And then he started, like, he wanted me to go on a tour with him, and I didn't have a passport at the time, so I was just like, So I didn't, but it was, I wish.
Oh, yeah.
I wish. I have lots of Sabu stories. We'll talk about those another night.
Yeah. I can imagine. I've met him a few times. He would tour around with them guys and shit, and do his thing. But I always loved Sabu. I always loved all the ECW guys. That's really like my first like hardcore wrestling that I watched and got into. I think a lot of people in America that was the case. It was like that, or like the Stranglemania tapes, which had like the FMW matches with Terry Funk and
the tape trading back in the day. A lot of these young kids don't know about tape trading.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, VHS tape. Like, hey man, did you get that?
I still have some sick ass VHS tapes. I have this. The craziest thing I have in my VHS collection, and no one even believes me when I tell them this story. I have this. It's released by WWE. It's a DX tape, and they're talking about smoking weed. There's titties on there. Like, it is fucking wild. It's
the
out there.
That was the good days.
Yeah, it's like the height of it, and they just like it's out there. Like, it's unbelievable the things they say on this tape. But I've kept it all these years because I'm sure they bury it now.
Yeah, you'll never see that on the Peacock Network.
No,
like never.
No, but I got it. I got it if anybody want to trade me tapes.
Build up his collection of VHS tapes. We find them here or there. He's got a couple good collections. I've got dried up blood on my nose. He's got a couple of good ones from when he first started.
Oh,
and
nice.
There's one that's way back in we did this show, and it's got me and Apollo Star, and we're very young. Very young.
I need some of these tapes. I need to see some of this stuff.
Oh man, some of it's like, oh man, I used to do all kinds of cool flippity doodads. Yeah, no, not no more. Like, I just punch people in the face. It's so much better. So much less work.
Right. No, what does Cornette say? Flippy moves.
Yeah, all the flippies. Oh, God.
So what do you got going on coming up? What can we expect to see?
I've got some good things coming in the future that I can't really say out loud because they haven't said it out loud yet.
Okay. But
it's very, very exciting to me.
Fair enough.
We have Flophouse coming up in July.
Dope.
We're working on some things in the office at Flophouse and I think they're really exciting. I it's going to be completely different and fantastic, and people are going to be like, "What the fuck?"
Nice.
And I can't wait. I can't wait for that. But
I see the Flophouse stuff like on my news feed constantly. Like, it gets a lot of hype. A lot of people really, really like the product.
It was supposed to be one show.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to have fun. We're going to have a barbecue and get drunk with our friends and wrestle in the backyard, and it's going to be awesome. And that's it. And then it was like, well, we'll do one more. And then, pandemic, no one can wrestle. Well, let's do private stashes, and we'll have the boys wrestle, and that way everybody's working. And then I think we're like 14 shows in, something like that now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like I said, when something's going on, I can see the flyer get so many shares. Like, it's just all over my news feed. So definitely the word's getting out there. People are checking it out, and the IWTV shit is awesome for anyone that gets their it's just such a platform for wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan and you're not checking out IWTV, like, what the fuck are you even doing?
Yeah,
with your time?
exactly. Like, what a fantastic concept that just exploded.
Yeah.
And it's so good because. Again, the tape trade. Like, how did you see wrestling back in the day? You had to find somebody that maybe had a tape from Japan,
Yeah.
And now
that's actually a really good comparison. I would say that kind of is like the new tape trade.
Yeah.
Like,
now
you can get on there and just
there.
There's stuff that you've never heard of, and just
they
like
have
anything that looks
of
interesting.
Mine on there that I don't even remember doing. Like, I was like, oh man, I used to. Oh. I remember that one now. Like there's one me and Reed Bentley on there for I think it was for IWA's title.
Nice.
At one point, and it was like I forgot all about that one.
Yeah.
You know, I remembered a couple we had, but
right.
I was like, oh man.
That's always great when that happens.
Hell yeah.
You know? I've been doing
get hit in the
concerts
head a
for so
lot,
long that sometimes, someone will have like a tape of me performing from this guy has like videos of me performing that I had. I was a little kid. It's like watching a whole nother person. Like it was a whole nother lifetime ago.
Oh yeah.
But it's always nice. It's always nice when you come up on that old shit and check it out and see what you're doing back then.
There's a photographer on Facebook, and he's got pictures of me from like 2003. And I look at him, I'm like, I was just a baby. Look how cute.
Yeah. In 2003 was so long ago, but it really doesn't sound like it until I think about it. It seems like it was just the other day.
It's like, man.
Well, shit. I put out my first tape in 1997, and I tell people that, and they're like, they look at me crazy. Like 97, they're like, tape. Yep.
It's a cassette. Yeah. You had to rewind it back.
Yeah. It's like a little 8-track. What's an 8-track?
Oh Lord. And these young, the young kids too. I bring up like the old like cartoons and stuff that we used to watch when we were growing up. They're like, what's that?
Yeah.
What's a snork?
It's
like,
snorks.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I love that shit. What was your like earliest memories of like loving wrestling? Like what really like struck you into it?
Oh, easily watching it with my grandma when I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
Like I just sit there. Like,
what did she watch? What was her product of choice?
So she was a big Lex Luger fan.
Okay.
Like loved him. Oh, he's so sexy. I always tell.
So she's part of the reason he was getting that push.
Yeah, exactly. And I tell everybody, I'm like, Lex Luger's the ultimate reason I got into wrestling is because my grandma's had the hots for him. And so we used to watch, like we would switch back and forth between the WCW and WWE. Okay. We contributed to both.
Yeah.
We weren't trying to so when something was boring on WCW, we'd flip over. But I was a big fan when I was doing the tape trading of Reggie Bennett.
Okay.
She's amazing. Like she was just a bigger girl, and she would throw bitches around, and it was dope. She did like a construction worker outfit at one point. She was over in Japan, and she was like the Godzilla of women's wrestling in Japan at the time. Mm-hmm. And by the time I got trained, she was retired, so I didn't get to work with her. But she was always on my list of like.
Yeah.
One day if I become a wrestler, I want to be just like her. I want to wrestle her,
Yeah.
So that was my girl.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's dope. You gotta check her out. She's awesome.
Have you ever had a moment where you did get to wrestle someone that it was kind of just like mind blowing, like, oh shit, I can't believe I'm getting to do this?
Yes. Just recently for Flophouse's Christmas show, I got to wrestle Jazz.
Oh, nice.
And still speechless. It was one of those moments where I've been doing this a long time, and I finally get that moment in the ring with someone, and it's just like I can't believe I'm here.
Yeah.
And it went I won, so it was pretty sweet,
Oh yeah.
And I got to spend the day with her and stuff, and it was really, really humbling and also fantastic learning, just sitting there Mm-hmm.
That's awesome, and that's cool that you say that. You know what I'm saying? Because, like you said, that you've been doing it for a while, and that you still want to learn and soak up game. That's awesome. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that think they got it all figured out. And I think those are people that are dead in the water.
Yeah, no one's got it all figured out. You're always
learning.
It's always changing, so you can't know everything. You can't know it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was one of the best moments. Probably of my whole career was that Jazz.
That's awesome. What's left on the list? What do you got? What do you want to do? What's on? What's the bucket list? What's your big plan?
Everything.
Everything and anything.
I mean, I've been doing this 20 years, so I don't plan on stopping. Yeah. Anytime soon. So I always try.
From what I've seen tonight, I don't think you need to.
I always try to top. Try to top, but how do you you get so far, and you just gotta get creative now. So
Right.
I want to do everything. I want to wrestle. There's so many people. Like, I could put out a list of like, like, I'd love to work with Dale Patricks. I'd love to work with Mickey
dope.
Knuckles. I'd love to work with Lufisto. You know, like, there's so many good people that I would list
Mickey's
off.
dope too. She was at the last RPW show.
Could you imagine me versus Justin Kyle?
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying.
Justin Kyle, you hear that?
I bet I could take him. I've seen his legs. They're not that big.
Turn it.
If you're watching, Jessica, I was just kidding. I don't want no smoke. No, like there's a ton, like I don't want to turn down anybody.
Yeah.
You know, because there's always that opportunity to learn and grow. And
You remember like that? Well, I shouldn't say remember because we're not that old. But they used to ever see like the old footage where they like put a guy in there and he wrestles a bear and shit.
Yeah.
Would you
Tracy
do that
Smothers
shit? Would
did
you do
that.
that? Wrestle a fucking bear like a
Maybe.
circus bear if it was trained?
Yeah. I like Tracy Smothers did that.
Yeah,
Rest in peace,
yeah,
Tracy
he
Smothers.
did. Actually, that's probably who I seen talking
And
about it.
He talked about it all the time. He'd always, man, you know, they get that bear all riled up, and he'd jump up on me, and he'd give me the hug, and I'd give him a couple shots, and he'd jump out. Like, it's one of the best stories that he would tell all the time.
That shit's wild to me to even think that someone would be like, yeah, fuck it, I'll wrestle a bear. Let's do it.
It's insane. There's got to be at some point where you have to draw a line, right?
Right.
I mean, I weigh 120 pounds.
I mean, I don't know a whole lot, but I'm willing to bet that bear's gonna shoot on you.
Oh, for sure. For sure. He's definitely gonna he's definitely gonna work a limb. It's gonna happen.
That's wild that used to be a thing.
Yeah.
There's footage, like they show you the footage of people wrestling a fucking bear.
Just smacking him in the face, like, come get me. You're like, you know, it's a bear, right? Like, what the fuck?
That's great, though. I wonder if, like, is there a law on that, or can I? Because I will sponsor that match if Chris will book a bear.
Like, I think you'd have to get permits and stuff for, animals.
Yeah, probably have to bring like a bear trainer.
No bears
something.
were harmed in the making of this.
Oh, you know what? You're probably right. They probably don't even do. That's probably why they don't wrestle bears anymore, because PETA will cry and stuff. I
mean, I'm not a PETA person, but I'm all about the safety of animals.
I'm about safety animals too. You know what I mean? We're talking about working a safe match with this bear.
I mean, you're gonna keep the bear safe during the whole match.
Yeah.
Don't worry, kid. I got you. Take good care of you, kid. And the bear's just like, rawr.
Gives no fucks. No fucks. You heard it here first, folks. Carnival of Kayfabe presents bear wrestling. All right, yeah. Pun's telling me he's going break under his breath, like he's not in the room, but he's over here telling me.
It's probably a good point to take a break.
Yeah, we're kind of off track. We're in bear land, but you're watching Carnival of Kayfabe, and we'll be right back after this message or whatever he's doing. Yeah, sign up for the Patreon. 6-digit Carnival of Kayfabe. You get early access to new episodes, discounts on merch, new merch first, unreleased 6 music, concert line jump. You be the first in line, cut in front of motherfuckers, revenge on your ex. I'll beat up a bully from your childhood. Somebody used to fuck with you. Whatever you need to happen, man. I got you. I'll make it happen. Let me know what you need me to do for you to subscribe to the Patreon. Linksies. All right, and we're back with Carnival of Kayfabe. I'm 6-digit. I'm sitting here with Randi West. I love that little clicker thing that he does. That's so professional.
So
I don't know if you'll even hear that because the audio starts after that. I think that's what it's for, right?
He's got one of those little...
Yeah.
Things, you know?
Show it, Pud. Show the camera. It just makes it easy for you. Hollywood.
Fancy around these parts.
No, we were actually just talking about this fucking painting behind me. The Sean and Brett, the sharpshooter. Actually, that's the screw job. That's like the moment. It's like the moment.
We have the one that's the opposite of that right before the screw job.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. But I much like this one. I like this one much better. Yeah. We were just discussing how we like this one better.
A friend of mine will look at a local guy. He does a lot of paintings and stuff. I've commissioned him to do that for me.
It's so awesome.
Yeah, he does a bunch of stuff, but he said he really enjoyed painting it, and I love it. I think it's awesome. I hang it here because of the podcast, but I'm always like, I kind of want to take it home.
That guy right there in the crowd, he's famous because he's in your painting.
Yeah. Kind of looks like Matthew McConaughey.
A little bit, yeah. The nose kind of, yeah.
Another thing, too, is I like this Kane autograph up here. Kane came to our mall, a month ago. And I went up there and paid for a fast pass, just walked right in, met him. It was cool because he was in costume and everything.
It wasn't Mayor Kane.
Yeah, Mayor Kane, Mayor Glenn. But I brought the figure straight over here and hung up on the wall or whatever. And how many times? It's been 3 or 4 times. Now every time I walk in here, I'm like, oh, I forgot I got Kane's autograph.
Oh yeah, that happened.
My stony brain always forgets because I never took it home. It's just been here. This one's a cool one, too, the Iron Sheik thing. A buddy of mine, he came to the Platinum Showgirls, a few years ago, and a buddy of mine was DJing there.
Gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
Gentlemen.
Yeah. But, yeah, he just, he hit me up one day. He was like, oh, I got something for you, and he gave it to me, and he didn't even tell me it was autographed, so I get it all the way home, and I open it up, and I'm like, what the fuck? This dude just gave me a big-ass, super cool. To Bubba. It was funny too because he wasn't a huge wrestling fan, so I'm sure that's why he had no problem coming off of it. And he goes, yeah, he wrote, I don't know why he thought my name was Bubba. I'm like, yeah, he thinks everyone's name is Bubba.
See, we were just talking about the actor that plays his character in the Young Rock. Yeah. He's so good. They could easily do a documentary type deal with
something.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's my favorite part of the Young Rock show is when they show the old school wrestlers. I think everyone that they have on there, even the Andre, I think they're all great.
It gives you that little glimpse that you always wondered about when you were watching them when you were growing up.
Yeah.
Is Junkyard really running around just headbutting people? Yeah.
No, definitely.
Dude,
it definitely shows you a lot, and that's probably my favorite thing on TV. I don't really watch TV. I don't watch
Sheiky with the list of words he couldn't say.
Yes. Oh, that shit's golden. It's super good. I love Sheik anyways. He's one of my favorite people online.
Anything I follow him on Twitter all day.
So good. Fuck the Monday. I break your back and make you humble.
It's like Hulk Hogan.
Everything's fuck Hulk Hogan. He hates Hulk Hogan. It's fucking great. I'll say fuck Hulk Hogan too because he'll probably never give me the opportunity to come on my podcast.
I don't know about that.
Plus, I've never been a fan of his work, anyways.
Yeah, I was always a Macho Man person,
Yeah, definitely Macho Man. When I was real young, I loved Warrior just because I didn't really he was just energy.
He's got lots of colors and he's shaking the ropes. Yeah.
And his match was over with so quick you didn't realize how bad it sucked.
Yeah, Macho Man was always because he was so intriguing and entertaining. When he's in there,
yeah, and
every
he was
movement had a reason. And
his interviews, his movements, his everything that he did, and he did a lot of firsts. Miss Elizabeth. People don't really have female managers then.
Fucking.
Yeah, just good stuff. Always, he never had a bad moment. And he had, I'm sure it's been talked about a million times, but him and Ricky Steamboat, it's probably one of my favorite matches ever. I can watch it a million times and it never gets old, and it's just so fucking good. I just recently watched something where they were talking about it, or Steamboat was talking about it, and he said that they wrote that match down everything hold for hold, and they went over it like homework.
Yeah, they said a lot of people said that's how Macho Man was. Like he would write
Very
out
particular,
like he needed it to be exactly the way he envisioned it.
Yeah.
And he got mad about it if it wasn't. Like
yeah, that's why it was so great though.
Yeah,
and especially
exactly.
like for that era, because I think there was a lot of guys that were just skating by back then. They're just big.
Like, look how big I am. I work out at
Yeah.
Muscle Beach.
Yeah, right. Which is fine. That was the
Although
thing.
we
That was the
did
thing
go to
at the
Hogan's
time.
restaurant when we were down in Florida, and it was pretty good food.
Yeah.
So he can hire a good cook.
Oh yeah. All right. You heard it here first, people. Hogan's not that bad.
I mean, his restaurant.
He can cook some stuff up.
I'm not backing Hogan in any way, shape, or form.
It's like very important to say that, and that's fucked up. You know what I mean?
When you like think about yourself, like 6-year-old you, like watching Hogan and stuff. Do you ever think today that you're like, man, I can't back that, bro?
Yes and no. Like he just seemed so like clean cut, and because that's how they were selling him to us.
Yeah.
But also like I was never a Hogan mark, even when all the other kids were. He just never really did it for me. I always hated the leg drop. Always hated it. I was always like, that's it.
Yeah. Come on.
Right. He's took out some legendary monsters with a fucking leg drop.
And he doesn't even have like big legs or ass or
Right.
anything to like.
And yeah, but I will say this: he's not as bad as like he came off in WWE, because how they limit what people do and shit. So like some of his stuff outside of WWE, like you see him in Japan and shit, I would be like, whoa, Hogan can do that?
Yeah.
I had no fucking idea.
He's doing like head scissors and stuff, and you're like, what in the hell?
Right? Yeah, where'd that come from? But
Why didn't you use that? You might have been more entertaining.
I didn't realize how much I didn't like him until later in life, when I got like a DVD and I put it in, and every match was the same. I got like 4 matches in, and I was like, all right, I'm ready to have a Hogan match. I know how to do this.
Same 5 moves.
Yep. He's gonna off the ropes, and he's gonna fucking point at you and give you the big boot.
He's gonna fucking hook up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's first. The
Yeah.
hook up comes first,
Yeah.
and then he's gonna.
Fucking no, you know. No whole deal, yeah.
Then the big boot,
That's it.
and then he's gonna drop the leg, and that's lights out
Match
for
done.
you. Fuck, man.
Collect your paycheck, kid.
You know what? It's hard to be mad at that, though. I guess if you can go out there and do the minimal and get a check as fat as him, I'd do the same motherfucking
You think
thing.
I wouldn't be like, yep, when you need me there.
Hey, yo.
Got you.
Fuck, I mean, think about that. He was cashing checks with that fucking leg drop. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know it was a different time, but even for then, that just seems a bit like...
There's some checks he was cashing I haven't even seen in my lifetime.
Yeah.
That much, the whole lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whole lifetime. Oh, man.
Wrestling checks, not movie checks. I don't think he made much in Hollywood.
His movies were terribly fantastic.
Yeah. Mr. Nanny. You loved him? What was your favorite one?
Which one?
Suburban Commando. Undertaker is in Suburban Commando for like a split second. He's one of the bounty hunters chasing Hogan, which I always thought was crazy because he's like notorious for not doing movies and shit, but that was kind of the very beginning of his career, so he did it. But yeah, if you go back and watch go back and watch Suburban Commando, one of the bounty hunters is Mark Calloway. All redheaded and
Oh man.
Where we at, Pun? We wrapping up? All right, we're wrapping up. I've loved having you here. We've been trying to do it for like fucking 2 months, and finally got you here, and the new spot. I hope you liked it.
Yeah, this is nice. This is nice. I like that. I'd figure out how I can put that in my vest and sneak it out the door. That painting. I'll replace it with mine. See if you notice.
Well, I don't know. Yours has the Brett autograph. Maybe we can talk.
I'm always up for negotiations.
Yeah. No, it's definitely been a pleasure having you on. Hopefully you'll come back soon.
Oh, for sure.
And I can't wait to see you wrestle some more death match.
Go take a shower, wash my hair.
Yeah, sorry to keep you so long post death match.
Yeah, no, it was worth it. It was worth it.
No, absolutely, fucking, like I said, great to have you here. I appreciate everybody tuning in to the Carnival of Kayfabe, and we will be back soon with more fucking wrestling.